Westminster's DNA, though, we're lucky. Innovation has always really been a part of the school, even going back, and Miss Nye was really gracious enough to dig up some old photos for us, but Westminster as a school, we've always really been forward-thinking in this way. So whether it's curriculum, whether it's the courses we teach, whether it's some of the technology we have. Here's an example of go back, Stephen just won this, so I don't even know what a multi-terminal time-sharing system is. You might have to ask your computer science teachers. A lot of somebody, maybe my age and older, might remember microfilm, and then we kind of moved on, you can go to the next one, to a computer lab in the CFL. So we've always been thinking about how we can provide the best resources for students and faculty to think about what that looks like. But one of the things we're really careful about is that it's not just about the tech tools. And so, Stephen, we also are really focused on the culture that we've created here as well. So we're dedicated to thinking about what does it mean to think differently? What does it mean to kind of think deeply? And thinking about, again, just those kind of experimental moments you have in your classroom, what are the opportunities that you have? And sometimes, I think a good example of that is the STEAM fairs that we put on typically every year. Those are really kind of manifestations of some of the different work. Think of your Jan term classes, areas like that. So we have a great opportunity ahead of us. I know the construction can feel like a lot of times, but we have some great opportunities ahead of us as a school. I'm really excited about the new innovative approaches we're looking at. So, last one, I think. And so, just thinking ahead, how great that you guys have the opportunity to kind of maybe do different things that no other school is doing, or at least trying different things. So, we're excited about your future, and I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Ann Cox to talk more specifically about the virtual lab.
All right, folks. So you may have seen, if you've been in the villages, Cottage 12, which is sort of hilariously called the virtual room. It's not really there, but it is actually our VR lab, and we are working on developing that space as a place for you all and for your classes to explore a variety of experiences using virtual reality. Right now we have 4 Oculus Rift S headsets in there. For next year, we are planning to double that number so that you all will be able to, with your classes again, come in and experience a variety of things. We've got some educational software like ShareCare VR. We've already had some anatomy classes coming in and working with that. We've had Introduction to History coming in and exploring an ancient Egyptian tomb. My students have worked with virtual reality and satire, and then we've also got some things that are there just for fun, like Beat Saber and some other things. Our goal for this space is that ultimately it will not only be a place where your teachers can bring you to do specific educational tasks, but there will also be a space that students will be able to reserve time to come in and use, for example, during a free period or after school during office hours, not dissimilar from the Writing Center. So there may be a use case where your teacher says, we're working on a particular topic, within the next 3 weeks, you need to go down to the VR lab, find some time, and do a particular program, or you could just come down on your own and say, what's there? What is there to experience? What can I do? What can I learn with that space? So this is sort of one of our more technologically heavy initiatives, but we do want to emphasize the fact that innovation is not just about technology. We really want to provide tools that allow you all to create all kinds of different projects, which is one of the areas that Mr. Grice is focused on, and he's going to talk to you a little bit more about that.
So I want to talk to you about 2 things. The first is going to be the technology piece. Right? Technology is absolutely an important part of innovation, and so we're pushing to put Westminster out front and to have the absolute best technology we can have that's going to be the most useful to you all. So we're talking to both students and faculty. So some of the technology we do have here already, if you look in the dead center, that is sort of the Cadillac of 3D printers, and it's on its way here, which is pretty exciting. So upper school 3D printing is coming. This 3D printer, among other things, is also capable flexible, and plugs right into the exhaust system. On the left, the thing that says Zoom on it is actually a 5-way microphone. So it's a hand recorder that's capable of recording sound in 3D space. So if you wanted to make an augmented reality experience with things rolled around your head, you could actually feel them shifting from front to back, left to right. That's a microphone that's capable of that. We already have a set of 10 of those available for you today. Many classes have already taken them up and gotten used. So these mics are great for if you wanted to start a podcast, or if you're in a language class where you wanted to record yourself speaking in another language about culture or with a friend telling stories. They're there for that. So, faculty, I hope that you will come to me with your ideas for how we can take advantage of these microphones with students as well. If you have a video project and you wanted to sound them, they're here for you to use. The headphones that are pictured on the right are also available for student and faculty use, so it's a nice thing to be able to hear what the microphone hears as you're recording. But if you're, let's say, in the art department and you wanted to create a walkthrough exhibit, you have augmented reality where people are talking to you about the work that you're seeing in your ears, we've got Bluetooth headphones available as a class set. So this is some of the technology that we already have and that is on the way. We have more coming, which will be exciting. And as you as students and as faculty have ideas for things that would be interesting and transformative and engaging, I want to know about it, and we'll try to make it happen. The other thing I want to reiterate is what Dr. Adcox and Mr. Laboucher already touched on, is that this is the technology side of innovation, right? And that's the part that I'm working most closely with. But innovation does not have to be something you can plug in and turn on. So if we'll go to the next slide, so this is another piece from this year already that I think is an amazing example of innovation in a more analog sense. So these are called cyanotypes. It's a process that's way predates computers, right? This is from like the 1800s, one of the earliest chemical reaction methods of creating an image. And so we had Spanish classes come together, and each of them had different prompts. One of the prompts was they were going to create or engage with a Spanish fairy tale. And this was a form of mark making that they took on, where we're going to, as part of that story, arrange objects in a way that we feel is connected to it. And these are exposed to the sun, and they end up with this sort of blueprint material, which is kind of cool. This is absolutely innovation. It's not something you can plug in and turn on, but it doesn't have to. And so students and faculty alike, if you have an idea for something transformative or creative that you want to do in any field, I want to know about it. Thank you.
And this is again kind of one of the things where innovation and ideas can come together to make something truly special. So it just so happened that I happened to have a drone available, and so we went out and actually filmed a lot of that footage. I was just watching as they put together some really impressive shots overlooking the campus, and you all now get to kind of enjoy the fruits of that work. So this is our Student Innovation Leadership Council, and this is a new leadership group that we have formed this year to help us make sure that you all, the students, are critical voice in the way developed on campus.
So before I have the ones who are speaking tell us about their projects, I just wanted to point out that if you have classes with any of these folks, or if you see them around campus and you have an idea for something innovative that you think the school should be doing, make sure you share it with these folks, because they are the ones who are going to be instrumental in helping us realize some of your innovative ideas. So thanks to all of you, and for those of you who are presenting, let's just kind of start down here, and I'll have the rest of y'all, you can go back down. Yep.
Hey everyone, so again, my name is Brooke and this is Athena, and we're going to talk a little bit about some innovation that we've done during Jan Term. So our freshman year, we were a part of the STEAM Innovation Jan Term, which basically put together different principles of art, design, and engineering to create different innovative projects. And at the end of the year, we actually ended up doing a field trip to Greensboro, North Carolina for a few days to a thrift store called Elsewhere. And our final project involved sort of creating a new space within that thrift store using some of the trinkets that we found that have been left there over the years. And my group decided to create a new space within Elsewhere that Greensboro didn't necessarily have access to. For example, green space. So our group decided to create sort of a faux natural environment within Elsewhere. And that involved hanging streamers and different ribbons from the swings in the front of the store. And this just goes to show, going off of Dr. Adcock's and Mr. Grice's point, that innovation isn't necessarily limited to computer science. Innovation can happen anywhere in any form, and through art, through design, through almost anything you want to pursue.
Thank you, Brooke. And another aspect of our Jan term was the personal project. And for mine, I attempted to harness electricity from body heat because, well, why not? And I achieved a version of this through this cool little physics phenomenon called the Seebeck effect, which it states that, in essence, the temperature difference between two different conductors can generate an electrical current. And with this in mind, freshman me, as you see on the right, produced about 0.75 volts, which is too minuscule to be put into any good use. And after about a week of trial and error, I devised a model to put that into a better use. And in short, I created a device that that basically turns the heat energy from your coffee brewer into electricity. So now I can charge myself and my phone at the same time. But anyways, although I didn't get to accomplish my original idea, I did learn that, even though an idea can start off somewhere completely different, it can be brewed for a week or sometimes more. And also, oh God, yeah. Sorry for my bad puns, but, and it can be transformed and improved. And although I didn't achieve my original vision, I think I was still able to make something pretty cool out of it. Thank you.
Thank you. So, kind of my first immersion into innovation as part of one of my classes at Westminster was last year in computer science class. We were given a project. It was basically to create an interactive piece of code that utilized either a sound sensor or an ultrasonic sensor. So our group decided to create a twist on the classic video game Pong, but where one of the paddles is controlled by a player running back and forth. So as we were creating this, as you can see there, we definitely ran across some challenges. First of all, we were beginner coders, so just coding the basic Pong game proved to be more difficult than we had anticipated. Some of the physics were actually pretty complex with the ball bouncing, but also it was there was a difference in difficulty for the player running back and forth than the player controlling it with the keys. So we had to make some adjustments with things like paddle size and things like that to make it even. But we worked through these challenges, and we had a feeling when we were done, like a really good feeling, like we had created something new and innovative. But while it didn't solve a huge problem, we were able to have fun with it and enjoy it. So we learned that innovation doesn't have to be something completely original necessarily. It can be a mix of things that are already created, or it can be your take on something new. But it just is something that you can have fun with, and maybe it will solve a problem, maybe not. And also it can be part of school. I think a lot of people dissociate innovation from schoolwork, but I think it's really important that there are opportunities for you to innovate with what you're learning in your classroom. That way you see the application between what you're learning and what it can solve in the real world.
All right, I'm JD. So my innovative work was to make a sword out of metal. It was for an English project, and the assignment was to create a revision of something from an English text we'd read that year. So just kind of take something and bring it to life. So I chose King Arthur as my text and recreated his sword Excalibur, and that was the final product there. So I really like welding and working with metal, so I just contacted a professional welder in Atlanta and went to his shop and made the sword. I think the sword is just an example of innovation that can take place at Westminster, even if it's not something technological or during Jan term. We obviously have a lot of great stuff and innovation going on during Jan term, but like Ryan's project, this is just an example that innovation doesn't have to be during just Jan term. It can be any time throughout the year, even on just a regular project for school.
Thank you all. And now to finish up, before we release you, we're going to have a little competition, and I'm going to pass it to Ananya, who is going to MC this for us.
You guys ready for a little friendly competition? All right. So we're going to play Beat Saber, which is a virtual reality game, and it's kind of like Guitar Hero and Fruit Ninja combined. So we're going to have a faculty member versus a student member. So for the faculty side, give it up for none other than Mr. Giza. He's got some bandana swag to go along. So Mr. Giza, you have any words before you enter the realm of virtual reality?
Now that I have my competitive bandana on, it's going to be Phi.
It will be Phi, he says. All right, Mr. Giza, I think we're going to get you locked into the game. So coming into the game, Mr. Giza told me that he has never been beaten in Beat Saber. He has a perfect record of 0-0. So right now he's putting on the Oculus, and what you guys see on the TV or the screen is exactly what he sees, and each of the controllers he has in his hand are two lightsabers. There's the music. Here we go, Mr. Giza. He was doing so well, the game had to take a break. That was a practice round. good, guys. Mr. Giza is perfect all the way through. Under the wall. I mean, what a performance. Give it up for Mr. Giza one more time. All right, so that was the faculty competitor. Now we have a student competitor. Is Athena Q, are you out here anywhere? You somewhere? All right, give it up for Athena. Athena, you have any words for the audience?
Actually, Mr. Giza, catch this. Oh, kids, audience, come on, hit the wall. Hey, good job. All right.
All right. Oh, wow. Look at this. The sportsmanship. Wow, Mr. Giza. All right, Athena chooses the white one. All right. Athena's going to get locked into the realm. So now that Athena's locked into the realm, let's see what she has to say.
Can hear me? How do you guys feel about this song? No, I don't think I can. Nope, I think we spice it up a little bit. How about maybe make it faster, just for fun? All right.
All right, she's taking the challenge. Good luck, Athena.
I'm a living legend. You ain't heard yet, you not get the message. From the moment that I'm stepping in the game, weapons here turn to a beast when I'm ready. I'm a living legend. You ain't heard yet, you not get the message. From the moment that I'm stepping in the game, weapons here turn to a beast.
Make some noise for Athena. She's on fire.
You wanna know watching the niggas so back and let the show begin. The people saying no, it's able to go and get me loaded. They didn't know it, face. Suckers ain't got no chance. I'm going away, my fellas always don't believe in no again. All my loaded go again, it's going on and on, dog. Just every next level, I'll be going in like Congo. The boys are pronto, they hit them up with their combo. They put them double lines, so you can get the combo. I'm a living legend. You ain't heard yet, you not get the message. From the moment that I'm stepping in again, couple weapons here turn to a beast when I'm ready. I'm a living legend. You ain't heard yet, you not get the message. From the moment that I'm stepping in again, couple weapons.
be sure to check out the virtual reality lab soon, and I have a quick announcement from Cole Seagrove. So next Thursday during club period, check out Senior Patio because there's going to be a performance from Mac and Wake Forest? Wake Forest. Yes, Wake Forest a cappella. So be sure to grab a donut on Senior Patio on your way out, and you are all dismissed.